3 weeks ago, I created a video and I recorded it, and it was from 0 to 153K in ARR in 5 months. Well, we're still are we in the 5th month? Maybe no, we're in the 6th month now. And we currently have, just want to give it to you guys straight, 237,000 ARR. We are growing. The trajectory is there. I have a revenue forecast, which is the projected revenue the next 6 months. MRR is, we're looking at, by November, our MRR should be, this is the monthly recurring, $58,973. That's the goal for our MRR. Current MRR is about a little under 20,000 a month. How do we get here in 6 months? Well, that's what I'm going to talk about today. If you own a service-based business, I'm going to talk to you about something that really gets spoken about in SaaS companies, and that is MRR, ARR, these type of numbers, your CAC, and all of that, your acquisition cost. So I just want to talk about, first of all, how to grow your ARR. I essentially grew this company from zero, legit, negative, to 237K a year in 6 months. Sometimes I don't like pats on the backs, but sometimes you got to step back and say, God damn, that was good. That was good. How do we do that? Well, hopefully today I could teach you something in case you're wondering, you're pretty stuck with your clients, your customers. How can you grow? Even if you own a practice or anything, I want to help you. So when people hear ARR, they usually think software. And my company does have software tied into it. But you think more subscriptions, dashboard, tech companies, investors, right? First round, seed rounds, B round, C round, multiples, all of that. But if you run a service-based business, which we have about 80% service, 20%, I would say, just SaaS, right? You need to start thinking about ARR. And I don't know why all of a sudden, that's important to me, even in a service-based business. I always said, let me just try to treat it like a tech company. Let me treat my service-based company, my professional services boutique company, like the biggest, software, SaaS, service as a software company you could think of. Because I like it because predictable recurring revenue is what gives you room to breathe. And if you know about that breath, man, you take a long one, waiting to exhale, Whitney Houston, you don't know. If you don't have that cash flow monthly where you could depend on, and it's very hard in a service base because some people don't pay. You have accounts receivables on their ass. You got all these things you got to deal with. Do you stop the service? Do you continue service? Do you pause service? So you have a lot of these things, or you figure out more creative ways to get more in your account upfront and early versus waiting on a month-to-month basis, sort of like take a discount, pay us for the year, right? Or pay quarterly, pay, every 6 months. So there's different ways that you could get creative with that, but you know exactly how it feels to just be able to breathe a little bit. And I'm saying this as someone building in real time, right? I started Smart Movers Club, and that is my company. smartmoversclub.com. We cater really to business owners and general contractors, more so general contractors. That's my niche group there. That's my demographic, where we help them scale. We help them grow their business. And I know that sounds sort of buzzy and like regular surface, but I really want to say we take time to understand our clients' needs, who their customers are, and we fit ourselves right. We integrate ourselves right in the middle of that, help them with processes and systems. And for that, I mean something simple as they don't have a CRM, or they have a crazy complex CRM that no one at the company uses, but it came with maybe the franchise company, or it came with the first thing that they bought. HubSpot is not for everyone, right? I personally built my own CRM because I was being sold by HubSpot, and I just didn't feel like it gave me enough control. that I needed to really run my business and see where I needed to grow in my business. It's great. I know a lot of companies that use it. In fact, there are sales folks over there. Great. They took the time out, taught us the thing. They have an onboarding, but it didn't work for me. So not all of the programs and systems that you have now are useful and able to make your business run efficiently, especially if you're not using it, right? That's number one. So we integrate our processes and systems. And not only that, but we teach and educate our demographic and our clients on why it's important and how to get the most out of it. And we give them that training that they need. The next thing is, let's go right into it. I was just reading a text. I'm sorry. So building a small company, figuring out pricing, figuring out delivery, figuring out how to keep clients happy, figuring out how to grow without breaking the business. And one thing I've learned is that you don't need to grow recurring revenue just by chasing more customers. Listen, I want way more customers than I have, but I know that there's parts of my company and our delivery process and our service that will break, right? That will break. Hold on one second. This is when I'm trying to do a podcast. I got to still work. Hold on one second. Okay, so I just want to make sure that they're actually there's a meeting going on right now and I'm seeing some chats of it. More customers though, right? You get more customers. It helps build your revenue, obviously. All right. So, but if your service, they're answering me back. Okay, got it. But if your service is not structured, which I feel like if you're chasing more just to chase more, and you don't have your systems in place and your process, your people, your resources, right? That's a big deal. And you're just taking more, the quality is going to fail. The quality is going to take a hit. There's going to be some sacrifices somewhere. And if quality has to take a sacrifice, it's definitely not worth it. You'll just be like every other run-of-the-mill company that's in your space, that's in your industry, that's just feeding for more. Now, I love more. I love more clients. It's more revenue for me. But growing this much in 5 months and in 6 months to where we're at now, it taught me a lot of valuable lessons. Every customer that I get teaches me something. Every client that I get teaches us something, how to structure it. Our onboarding has to be seamless. Our communication has to be seamless. Our reporting has to be seamless. Our deliverables, the stages of a client's process. And we're going to get all into it today in this one. Where a lot of businesses miss, I feel, and I've missed in the past, so I'm just not, and businesses that I've been in because I've purchased a product or purchased a service, is that they think that the deliverable is the whole product, right? You know, the experience is a part of the product though. So if I go to a company and I want, for example, let me just give you a idea of this because I know I have one. Okay. So I use PandaDoc for like my DocuSign e-signatures. And I feel like there's something that happened. I accidentally clicked annual subscription, but I looked at my account, the annual subscription came out. I know damn well, but the way they built their website, it's almost like, it's not predatory, but it's like if you don't read and you don't look and you don't take the time, you're going to click annual. It lands on annual, right? And of course, they want that money up front. But for me to get someone on the line, there is no someone on the line. In fact, let's scratch that because PandaDoc fixed it. They took, they credited the account and all that. They did a good job because there is no refunds with this place. So you have to have a serious reason to get a refund, actual dollars back to your account. They'll give you credit or they'll stop it after a year, but they won't. But they gave me the service and now I'm on their platform recurrently. But another thing is that you don't see a lot of phone calls where pick up the phone, try to dial a company. Guess what happens? You're speaking to, I don't know who. AI, or you're speaking to press 1 for this, press 2. Like the whole time you're on there is just trying to get to a human. Please just get me to a human. And that's really what the bulk of your phone experience is. Or it's support tickets. So you're right above this line, this text, it's a whole support ticket. So how is that experience, especially when you're paying for a product? In fact, more companies are getting hip to this, where they're actually giving you priority support if you pay more, or they're giving you human support if you pay more. There was a company that I'm so sorry that it's blanking my head, but this company used to have chat bots and support through chat, but now that's just for the higher level. And I thought that was super crazy. So there is an AI chatbot that answers you, but still you cannot talk to a human at all. But if you want to charge more, and this is what this is about today, I want you to be able to earn more ARR, some more annual recurring revenue. I don't think I told you what the damn acronym stood for. Annual recurring revenue. Annually, this is how much your business is bringing in. And monthly recurring revenue is MRR, monthly, what your business is bringing in. So if you want to charge more, the clients should feel a difference, right? They should feel like they're not just they're not just buying a task from you. They should feel like they're stepping into a system. From the door, there should be like, wow, onboarding is seamless, their client portal, their dashboard, everything just looks like it was built for their experience. And the onboarding experience, taking time to go over these different parts of your system, the different parts of your network. Right now, there are 3 different websites and apps that my clients have to log into depending on the service that they need. Some of them have the entire service. So there's 3 different ones that they go into. That's 3 different URLs. That's 3 different passwords. That's 3 different usernames, So I'm trying to get that down to a smaller amount. But right now, I could only do what I could do. But what I can do is make sure that they could go to one page and get all of the items listed, or all of their software or attachments or tenants listed, that they could just click log in, right? They don't have to remember the website. They don't have to, which one is that? What do I do with this? What do I do now, right? That's not a good deal. So when they walk into the system, they should be a beginning, a middle, a next step, some feedback loop, a clear sense of progress. When a client works with you, they should not be confused on what's happening. And I tell my folks that work with me, I don't want any confusion. Confusion's very low on the totem pole. After confusion, it's doubt. And then after doubt, it's apathy. You're dead, right? So apathy, confusion, doubt, confusion. So that's why I want to bring this in here, that you don't want your clients confused. When a client works with you, they shouldn't be confused. They should not be chasing you for updates. That's another thing. Where's my update? Oh, I haven't heard from this and that. We have account managers and client success managers that really take care of our clients. So this is the system that I wanted to improve upon and create before taking on new clients, right? This is important. This is mandatory if you're trying to increase your ARR, or else, again, you're like the same run-of-the-mill companies. Everyone does it the same, and that's it. But they should not be wondering what they're paying for, right? They should feel like, okay, this company has us. They know where we are. They know what needs to happen next. They are moving this thing forward. That is how you create pricing power, okay? Pricing power comes with the value that you bring, because pricing is fugazi, man. I got to be okay with giving you this money, because it hurts. It hurts me giving you this bread, this hard-earned bread. If I'm going to get a return, now the return could be multiple of things. The return could be a peace of mind, saving money, making more money, getting more done, more productivity, filling the gap, It could be all sorts of things. But the pricing power, the value that you bring, it has to be way above me being hurt giving you the bread, okay? So don't mean trap people, okay? This doesn't mean you make things confusing so they cannot leave, right? Don't try to tie them in your world. You got to become useful, organized, and that's where I come in. I am like 100%, we have to be organized. Organization, I'm a Virgo. I don't know if that means anything. I'm just a weirdo when it comes to organization for my clients. You may come over the house and, things are a little misplaced. But for the clients, it's a whole different story. This is a mandatory, it's a must, it has to happen. So you could grow your ARR by looking at these things, your own system. How does the customer service, the actual service feel for the client, right? How does it feel for the client? How's the communication? How does your process and your insight, your follow-up, your structure, and your ability to keep things moving smoothly? That's the real business relationship. And that's one way you could grow your ARR. If you get that right there, the structure internally once a client comes in and how they move through your system to get things done, you half the battle. Totally half the battle. I keep hitting the mic. I'm sorry for my podcasters. All right. So let's go down here and talk about the next way. I only have 3 ways here. The next way to grow your ARR, the grow ARR, is by adding upsells and products that align with your service. And the key word is align, not like totally off, right? I don't believe in throwing random offers at clients every day. You have something new to sell them, and just because you want to make more money, it's fugazi, it's scammy, it's cheap, it's weird, it looks crazy, but you also bring them back to the confusion state. Like, what is it that you guys do? Is this like I'm in here on a monthly service? All this shit keeps coming at me like I'm on a Google ad or something. This is not good, right? So if you confuse that market and you dilute your offerings, your main offerings, you dilute your business ultimately. That's not a good look. But I do believe that service-based businesses should be asking, what does my client naturally need before, during, or after working with me? So if you sell coaching, right, maybe your clients need a planner, a workbook, a short exclusive course, a private community, or a monthly implementation session. If you sell data, right, maybe your clients need quarterly reports, custom dashboards, alerts, analysis, briefings that tells them what the data actually means for their business, right? If you run a plumbing company, maybe your customers need a preventative maintenance plan, a care plan, annual inspections, water heater checks, priority scheduling, or an emergency response membership. Like whatever it is, it aligns with you. Let's say you run a marketing agency, which most of everyone does now. What do? A marketing agency. We're a digital marketing agency. All right, so if you own one of those, maybe your clients need landing pages, CRM setup, call tracking, reputation management, email follow-up, or reporting. Like it's aligned, right? So I think that most of those things, though, and the difference with my business is that, if I own a marketing agency, which my company does marketing, we add all that in there. Because our goal is to always get the highest dollar amount and upfront. And I'll show you that's the next one. So the point is to not sell more stuff. The point is to solve the problems. Try to solve all the problems your customer have. Sometimes you can't do it. It's tough. They got a lot of problems, man. You're not out here. You're solving 1 or 2 problems, key, but they bring up something to you, maybe in a feedback, in a meeting, and you're like, That's a good idea. Most of my clients said the same thing. Let me see if we could develop a product that we could potentially upsell and it be yearly that helps you out. And I love the yearly because it shows folks that you're already thinking a year in advance. They're going to stay with you for a year. It does more than just be a yearly product. But either way, let's keep it going. So that second one was offering something that it's you could increase your ARR. And it doesn't really tie directly into your ARR because it's probably a one-time thing. Maybe it's a subscription, but most of it does, because sometimes the easiest way to grow annual recurring revenue is not by adding 10 new clients. Sometimes it's by increasing the value of the clients you already have. So you have to look at that. If a client is paying $2,000 a month and you create a natural path for them to move to $3,500 to $5,000 a month because the value is clear, that can change the business fast. But again, it has to make sense. It has to connect to the outcome they already care about. That's what I mean when I say add the value, upsell, and build the products around them. All right, so the third piece is outcomes, deliverables, and results, right? This is where service businesses need to get sharper. We love to talk about what we do, but clients care about what changes. They care about what becomes easier. They care about what becomes faster. They care about what becomes more profitable, more organized, more predictable, and less stressful. So you have to define the outcome. What does the client actually get? What are the deliverables? What happens in the first 30 days? I love doing that. We have a 30-day check-in with the client. How's your client success person? How's your bid specialist? Maybe we do bidding for our clients. How's everything working? How's the communication? Is that your still preferred method? Do you want to change your day and time? Do you have any feedback for us? It's such a potent time. They're excited. They've been through the system. They know how we work. They've been here for a few. Let's get some feedback from them. A lot of times, just asking the question, you get the answer that changes the trajectory of your revenue. And you don't stand still if you take action, obviously. You could ask them for a bunch of feedback and you don't get that, So I'm going to tell you what worked for us, though. 1 and 2 is great, but I'm going to share with you the secret sauce, just because you stuck around, what actually worked for me and my company here at SMC, how we were able to move from zero, essentially. In 5 months, we were able to bring on $153K in annual recurring revenue. You could do the math backwards. And then to this moment here, 6 months later, just 1 month after that, we're able to total $237K in ARR. Now, it's still not a lot in grand scheme. It's a lot for 6 months. Still, a lot of other companies do $1 million in 6 months. This is a growing company. And we, again, work with general contractors. Head over to Smart Movers Club if you don't know what we do. I've been talking a lot about ARR. It's time for me to plug the company here. We work with general contractors, help you grow and scale your business. We do that through bidding, helping you bid and win on commercial or government projects, marketing for residential leads, help you with website development, and partnerships and development. We also help you scale in terms of moving into other territories and other states, utilizing new HIC licensing and getting things done, helping you also with designation with federal and state level certifications. So our team really we are not your partners, essentially. We're partners, but we become your employees. So hiring us, you get 4 to 5 people immediately that you would not be able to afford by just going out there and hiring these folks. So folk in marketing, you're hiring someone in business development, you're hiring a tech, you're hiring a communication specialist, you're hiring sales. So you get all these folks in there for one monthly cost, and we're only here to see you win and expand. We are totally 100%edly involved and ready to help see you and your company grow. So please head over to smartmoversclub.com right now. Or if you're a homeowner, you may want to check out smchomeimprovement.com. If you're looking for general contractors, you're looking to remodel the kitchen, you're looking to do some work in the basement, the patio, the gutters is too dirty, maybe you have some damage to the house and you need that checked out, we could help you find a reputable as well as trustworthy general contractor in your area. If you're a homeowner or you need some work done, head over to smchomeimprovement.com. All right, thank you for allowing me to plug that. Let's continue. It's going to be the final push here. I think we should be a little over 30 minutes today. All right, this is what worked for us. This is the sweet sauce. Because we are a small startup, we couldn't just raise our prices immediately. We couldn't. Like, we'll look dumb. I mean, the smallest fish in the big pond, or the small fish in a small pond, with other small fishes going around. We're not the only one, but we're one of few people that really help the general contractors from end to end, right? So we couldn't raise our price, right? We had to show and prove. How do we get the first customer? How do we get the second customer? A lot of people say, put the case studies on. What case study? I don't have a goddamn case study. I just started the company. What are we supposed to do? So it's not like I could go out there and charge what the big boys charge for service-based professional boutiques, right? That offer what we offer. Sometimes the offer is worth more. Like, I know the work that I'm doing is worth more than what we're getting paid, but the market just does not know it yet. So we had to get the proof where it is at, because the proof was still being built. So, and the case studies are not strong enough. They don't exist. All right. For us, one of the things that worked was giving clients a trial for the higher tier service. So I'll let them know up front. Okay, we have 4 tiers. We have starter, upsell, growth, scale. Starter, upsell, growth, scale. So we would say, and we would do, we'll give you the upsell package, right? But we're going to put you on the trial for the growth. So you don't need the starter. I mean, you're not past that. Starter is just website and basic lead management and CRM. You don't need that. You need the whole thing. But I know that you want to be able to have that proof in your ROI. You want to be able to see what we could do. So what I do is, you're going to understand, for 3 months, I'm going to give you the everything in growth. I mean, everything that we can throw at you, you're going to get it. And you're going to get it, and we're not even going to ask a question. We're going to just give it to you. It's like going to the Land Rover dealership, and you were trying to get the certified used, and they said, no, go ahead and drive the new 2027 0 miles for a week, right? I'm going to give that to you for a week. Come back and let me know if you still want to go into used. We're giving it all to you, man. All right. So that's what we would do. We'll give them the highest tier, or a higher tier, not the highest. The highest is scale, right? So they would have to be wanting to move into new territories and states, but we can't just do that on a 3-month trial. That's not going to work. We need about 6 months of time with that. But the thing here to note is that we're not giving them the weak version. Like, oh, give them a little bit of growth. Let them see a little bit. Let them peek a little through the window. No. We're giving them all up front. I'm telling you, everything we've got, we give it to them, because this is our only chance to advance. We give them the real thing. More support. We give them more support, more communication, more systems, more processes, right? More follow-up, more strategy, more of the kit and caboodle up front. That's my new favorite thing, kit and caboodle, okay? Kit and caboodle. So we give that to them up front. Some people will say, why'd you do that? Why are you giving away the house? Listen, we had no one on the growth plan, right? We just created a growth plan. We know what we want to do with it, but we didn't have anyone on the growth plan. But now we have a trial. We want to sell more growth plans, right? We want to sell as much growth plans as we could possibly sell. We don't have anyone on it, so why not give them the trial? Yeah, so some people say, why'd you do that? They'll say never give more than what's paid for. And I understand that. You can obviously and absolutely overextend yourself as well as your resources, as well as your employees, if you're not careful. But when you are early and you're trying to prove value, sometimes the smartest move is to let the clients feel. Okay? That's a big word here. Feel what the higher tier actually looks like for their business. Because guess what happens at the 3-month mark? It just stops. Oh, you're back to just this. Oh, what about that thing we were getting? Oh, that's done. And we never just stop it. Obviously, there's a meeting before that gets there. Another sales call and says, hey, you could stay at the rate, but you're getting what that tier has, all the benefits of that tier. Or you could just continue and pay the extra $3,500 or pay the extra $1,500 or pay the extra whatever it is and go up to and maintain that level of organization, of revenue, of leads, of vetting, of all of that, whatever we say there. What do you want to do? And 90% of the time, they move up. 90% of the time they move up into that. And that's where we could build that case study. So you're saying here's what you experienced. Here's what we took off your plate. Here is how much time we saved. Here's what we built for you. Here's how we got you more organized. Here is what this looks like if we continue at this level. That's the much stronger conversation instead of, hey, I hope and pray that you get this growth package because this growth package they didn't even feel it. They can't touch it. They can't smell it. They can't see it. So that conversation now is going to be beneficial to win. The client is no longer comparing your price to some random number. They're comparing the new price to the value they would lose if they went backwards. That's the key. So if the trial is done right, the client should not want to go back to the lower level. They should have experienced enough relief, enough progress, enough revenue, enough leads, enough whatever you do, enough structure that scaling up feels like the most logical step. But the trial, though, has to be structured. That's important. A trial cannot just be free labor. It needs a start date, it needs a clear end date, a clear scope, a recap, next conversation, feedback. And these good these check-ins monthly is important, okay? You gotta see what they love about what's happening, what they hate about it, what they're indifferent about, okay? You need to show what you delivered. We have a weekly report. We have a monthly report. We have weekly meetings here. You need to show what changed. I was able to show one of my clients how they started from like literally zero, no foundation, no website, no one knew them, to literally... I don't remember the analytics, but I showed it to them and they were like, shit, that's how many people go into the website. That's how many people hit the Google business profile when they type in that. That's how many people come. Yeah, because the foundation was built. So if I had to break it down simply, I would say this. To grow ARR in service, in your service-based business, first look at your current offer and ask if the experience matches the price you want to charge. If it doesn't, improve the experience, improve communication, improve onboarding, improve reporting, improve delivery. Build a system around the service, right? Second, look at what your clients naturally need and turn that into aligned upsells or products. Do not add random things, add the next logical solution. And the next logical solution may be a higher tier as well. Doesn't have to be a new product, but it could be just, hey, we've outgrown this where you're at. We need the next level of service here. Third, get serious about outcomes. That's what I did here. Make the value visible. Make the deliverables clear. Show progress, track results, and give the clients a reason to stay and a reason to grow with you. And they want to grow with you. I always ask them, you want to see me win, right? You want to see me win. You want to see me successful. Because if I'm successful, you're successful. If you're successful, I'm successful. I know it sounds cheesy, but that's just the way it got to be. That's the way it is. And if you are early, do not be afraid to use trials strategically. Sometimes you have to show the value before the client is ready to pay the full price, but do it with structure. So we put 3 of our clients on the trial. 2 of them went north. They expanded. They went up to a tier. One of them stood on the same tier that they were on. But when we stopped everything, like we got a call like a week later, I think in their call, why don't we get this? Why don't we get this thing anymore? Oh, I'm sorry. That was with the growth trial. That's with growth now. Do you want to go up there? Oh yeah, that we really like that. Is there any way? No, there's no way. There's no way. So we're going to do the best we can with the tier you have. But yeah, there's a sharp end to what we give. Because again, it's a lot of resources, a lot of human resources, a lot of capital, a lot of probably even you're spending extra. Of course, once you pay people extra, you're going to spend extra. The deliverables are there and things that you probably do for them in that trial, you probably won't use. So you wasted your time, right? Because you're hoping to get them to stay and pay more in that so they could use what you've already built. So because ARR does not grow by accident. It grows when the service becomes a system. It grows when clients trust the process. It grows when leaving you feels like losing momentum. When clients leave, they don't want to leave me. They fall in love with me. They fall in love with our team. They fall in love with the company. We immerse them so much. We become a part of them. It's like losing an employee for 25 years. Oh, please don't go. Please don't go. That's what it feels like. We become married in this shit. And they love the work. They love the results. That totally is exactly how we do it. I'm trying to end this thing, but here it is. Stop selling services. Stop just selling services. Build something your clients do not want to operate without. It's very important that they don't want to leave you. So 40 minutes in, again, head over to smartmoversclub.com. If you want to be on a newsletter that I write, and I write it just personal newsletter, it's strizzyreport.com. It has everything to do with states, business, books, things that I'm into around the time. Head over to strizzyreport.com. But if you are a general contractor or know of a general contractor or a homeowner that wants to get some remodeling or renovation on their property, kitchen, baths, a heater's broken, roof is cracked, whatever the case, we could help match you with a reputable, trustworthy, and a contractor that won't ghost you mid-project, okay? We'll take the stress away from you and help you with that. But again, I appreciate you listening. For those watching, I appreciate you watching. And thank you and enjoy the rest. Hey, have a great Memorial Day weekend. And again, I'm going to just give you the numbers for old time's sakes. Sometimes I got to pat myself on the back for building such a beautiful, beautiful growth trajectory. And I actually want to show you the growth trajectory right now. See that? Beautiful. 237K ARR. 6 months ago, 0. 6 months ago, negative. Hit me up, strizzyreport.com if you just want to know about this stuff. But if you are interested in my services, in our company services, head over to smartmoversclub.com. Peace. 3 weeks ago, I created a video and recorded it